Good morning, dear students. We are doing chapter number 22, Financial Statements with Adjustments. And we have already done first 11 adjustments. Okay, and today we will discuss next adjustment, that is the provision for discount on debtors. This is the part 4 and we are doing 12th adjustment, provision for discount of debtors. Okay, students. So it is the normal practice in the business to allow cash discount to those debtors from whom the payment is received promptly or within the fixed period. Okay, so discount thus allowed will be in an expense of the business and debited to the profit and loss account. First treatment. Since there will be in certain debtors who will make early payment in the next accounting year and will be allowed such discount. So a provision for such discount is created on the current year itself. So the process of the creating a provision for discount is the same as for the provision for doubtful debts. So the entry will be the profit and loss account debit to provision for discount on debtors account. And treatment provision is shown on the debit side of the profit and loss account first of all, and secondly deducted from the sundry debtors on the asset side of the balance sheet. Okay, these two treatments are the of this transaction. Okay, next adjustment is GST, goods and service tax. So students, all indirect taxes like excise duty, sales tax, VAT, service tax have been merged into a single tax that is called GST. So GST is paid at the time of purchase and GST is collected from the customer at the time of sale. So first of all, GST paid. GST is paid at the time of purchase of goods, purchase of assets and on expense incurred. Okay, so GST paid on purchase within the same state is, we have two parts. First is the input central GST and input state GST, means CGST and SGST. Input CGST, input SGST. Okay, and second is the GST collected. So GST is collected from customers at the time of the sale of goods, sale of asset and on services provided to customers. So GST collected from customer on sales within the same state. That is also have two parts: output CGST, output CGST and output SGST. Okay, means ये central CGST and state GST. GST paid is adjusted against GST collected and the balance is shown in the balance sheet. But how? So first of all, we will notice if input CGST is more than output CGST. If input CGST is more than output CGST, the balance is shown on the asset side. Okay, balance will be shown on the asset side. This is the first point. Secondly, reverse case, if input, if output CGST is more than input CGST, then it is shown on the liability side This is the actual treatment of GST. Okay, so similarly input SGST, if input SGST is greater than output SGST, it will be shown in the asset side, and if output CGST is greater than input SGST, then it will be shown in the liability side. Okay, so next topic, GST on adjustment item. Students, GST levied on outstanding expenses. If GST is given with any adjustment like with an outstanding expenses, like rent outstanding. Okay, so GST is also levied on the outstanding expenses. For example, rent amounting to rupees 10,000 is outstanding, and GST and SGST at the rate 6% each are levied. The adjustment क्या होगी इसकी? We will first of all we will calculate 6% on 10,000, that is a 600. Okay, the entry will be the rent account debit to outstanding. Actual entry ये होती है आपकी rent account debit to outstanding rent. But because in this adjustment GST is also involved, so that's why entry will be rent account debit, input CGST account debit, input as GST account debit to outstanding rent. Okay, and entry amount will be rent account debit, input CGST account debit, input SGST account debit to outstanding rent. Okay, so rent 10,000, 600, because 6% is the rate of GST, that is the given in your question, and total it will be the 11,200. That entry we will pass. If outstanding expenses are shown inside the trial balance, suppose, then GST will not be levied on such outstanding expenses, because it means that the adjusting entry has already been passed, क्योंकि इसमें already इसमें adjusted है. Okay, and GST is already included in the outstanding expenses shown inside the trial balance. अगर ये आपका trial balance में given है तो ये already GST इसमें included है, right? And wages और salaries के cases में exempt होता है GST, right? And GST in case of prepaid expenses, अगर यहाँ पर prepaid expenses के साथ ये आ जाता है, then तो prepaid means you have already paid that expense, ठीक है, and this is belonging to the next year. Okay, so GST is not to be calculated on prepaid expenses. For example, rent paid is rupees 8,000, out of which 3,000 is paid for the next year. Suppose CGST and SGST 6% on each case. Okay, तो 8,000 we have paid, so rent account debit to bank, वो तो आपकी एंट्री है ये, बट यहीं पर ही आपका जो है GST कैलकुलेट हो जाता है. तो रेंट अकाउंट डेबिट, इनपुट CGST अकाउंट डेबिट, इनपुट SGST अकाउंट डेबिट टू बैंक अकाउंट. तो वी विल कैलकुलेट 6% ऑन 8,000, मतलब इंक्लूडेड 3,000 प्रीपेड के साथ मिला के ही हम इसमें लगा चुके हैं. सो एट द सेम टाइम पासिंग एडजस्टमेंट एंट्री अगर फॉर द प्रीपेड रेंट मीन्स एंट्री इज द प्रीपेड रेंट अकाउंट डेबिट टू रेंट. तो यहाँ पर आपको नो नीड टू द कैलकुलेट GST अगेन, क्योंकि एक बार आप ऑलरेडी इसमें कैलकुलेट कर चुके हो, ठीक है. एंड GST लेविड ऑन इनकम अर्न बट नॉट रिसीव, तो जब इट ऑल्सो लेविड ऑन द, मतलब ये एक्लूड इनकम के साथ भी हम इसको देखेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कमीशन अर्न बट नॉट रिसीव्ड अमाउंटिंग टू रुपीज़ 20,000 इज गिवन इन द एडजस्टमेंट. सो GST और SGST सपोज कर लीजिए 9% है ई चार्जेबल. तो एंट्री विल बी एक्रूड इनकम या एक्रूड कमीशन अकाउंट डेबिट to commission received, to output CGST account, to output SGST account. Okay, this is the your entry. And income received in advance, if income received in advance is given in the adjustment, then GST is not to be calculated on such income, because GST has already been credited at the time of the receipt of income, जब हमें रिसीव हुई होगी, ठीक है. तो हम ऑलरेडी इसमें इंक्लूडेड है. Okay students, now we will discuss illustration number 8, in which from the following trial balance of Gupta Furniture House prepare trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet as at 31st March 2018, and all items are given in debit side and credit side. You can see all items. Okay, I am reading just adjustments. Okay, and CGST indicates central GST and SG given है आपके क्वेश्चन में. adjustments, students, adjustments, first adjustment is write off rupees 1,500 as bad debts and create a provision for doubtful debts at the rate 5% on debtors. So students, 1,500 is bad debts, so you will add this 1,500 in bad debts. This is the further bad debts. Okay, इसको आप ऐड करके दिखाएंगे bad debts में, डेबिट साइड में, और न्यू प्रोविजन भी क्रिएट करना है. सो दैट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू विल डिडक्ट 1,500 फ्रॉम द डेटर्स, देन जो अमाउंट आएगा उसके ऊपर यू विल क्रिएट न्यू प्रोविजन, सिर्फ 5%. ओके, इफ ऑलरेडी गिवन है ओल्ड प्रोविजन, तो यू विल डिडक्ट दैट ओल्ड प्रोविजन फ्रॉम द बैड डेब्ट्स. आप बैड डेब्ट्स में से उसको माइनस कर दोगे इन डेबिट साइड लाइक दिस. टू बैड डेब्ट्स न्यू प्रोविजन यू विल ऐड एंड माइनस ओल्ड प्रोविजन. ओके. और सेकेंड ट्रीटमेंट यू विल डिडक्ट दिस फर्दर बैड डेब्ट्स, क्योंकि ये न्यू 1500 है जो ये आपके एडजस्टमेंट्स में भी गिवन है. सो दैट्स वाई हम इन बैड डेब्ट्स को डेटर्स में से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डिडक्ट भी करते हैं, देन प्रोविज़न जो न्यू प्रोविज़न आपने इसमें बनाया है वो भी इसमें से डिडक्ट करेंगे. ओके. नेक्स्ट एडजस्टमेंट इज प्रोवाइड 2% फॉर डिस्काउंट ऑन डेटर्स. डेटर्स के ऊपर डिस्काउंट जो बनाना है वो इन सब के बाद मीन्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू विल डिडक्ट बैड डेब्ट्स फ्रॉम द डेटर्स, देन यू विल डिडक्ट प्रोविजन फॉर डाउटफुल डेब्ट्स जो आपने न्यू प्रोविजन क्रिएट किया है वो भी आप डिडक्ट करोगे उसमें से. देन जो अमाउंट आपके पास आएगा जैसे कि यहाँ पर आया है 76,000, देन यू विल क्रिएट न्यू प्रोविजन फॉर डिस्काउंट ऑन डेटर्स ऑन 76,000. 2% आप इसके ऊपर क्रिएट करेंगे 76,000 के ऊपर. ओके. ठीक है. और इसको फर्स्ट ट्रीटमेंट है जो वो यहाँ पर आपका शो होगा डेबिट साइड ऑफ द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट. सेकेंडली यू विल डिडक्ट दिस अमाउंट फ्रॉम द डेटर्स इन एसेट साइड. Okay, next point is the depreciate building by 5% and machinery by 10%. So depreciation you will show in the debit side of the profit and loss account, and secondly you will deduct this depreciate amount from the assets. Okay. Next, fourth point is the rent is payable at the rate of rupees 4,000 per month, and outstanding rent is subject to the levy of CGST and SGST at the rate 9% each. First treatment of this adjustment is you will add outstanding rent. You will add outstanding rent in rent. Rent आपके पास गिवन है 40,000 और यहाँ पर गिवन है कि आपके पास ये जो है पेबल है 4,000 पर मंथ. तो 4,000 पर मंथ के अकॉर्डिंगली ये बनता है 48,000 एनुअली. बट यहाँ 40,000 से है, इट मीन्स 8,000 आउटस्टैंडिंग है. तो 8,000 यू विल ऐड एज आउटस्टैंडिंग. ओके. ऑन सेकेंडली क्योंकि इसके ऊपर अब लगेगा GST ऑल्सो, इनपुट CGST इनपुट SGST जो कि रेट गिवन है आपके पास 9%. यू विल कैलकुलेट 9% ऑन 8,000, इट विल बी 720. एंट्री विल बी रेंट अकाउंट डेबिट, इनपुट CGST अकाउंट डेबिट, इनपुट SGST अकाउंट डेबिट टू आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट. 8,000 720 720 9,440. तो 9,440 आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट है आपके पास जिसको आपको बैलेंस शीट में शो करना है. आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट 9,440. सेकेंड ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ GST जो है आपके पास 720 है. यू विल ऐड इनपुट CGST 720 इन इनपुट CGST ये लाइबिलिटी साइड. ओके. ये CGST से इंक्रीज होगा 720 से, यहाँ पर आप इंक्रीज करके शो करेंगे इनपुट CGST. ओके. नेक्स्ट एडजस्टमेंट इज 1/3 of the commission received is in respect of work to be done next year. That is income received in advance. So students, you will deduct this amount from the main amount. By commission received 7,500 minus 1/3 received in advance 2,500, amount is 5,000. And second treatment, received in advance you will show in liability side, commission received in advance 2,500. Okay. Next, provide 1,100 as interest on drawings. Interest on drawings, that is the income of the business. So that's why it will be shown in the credit side by interest on drawings 1,100. Okay. And secondly, interest on the drawings deduct हो जाता है आपका कैपिटल में से. ठीक है. तो we will deduct interest on drawing from the capital. Second treatment. And last, closing stock. First treatment is we will show in the trading account in credit side, and secondly it will be shown in the asset side. So students, you will try to solve the practical questions from the back exercise. Okay. Thank you students. Have a nice day.